and elite fighters, famous athletes and famous fighters. He's worked with players from the NHL, from Major League Soccer, from Canadian football. I mean, you name the sport, the profession, and he's worked with them. Matter of fact, he just got back from Brazil to come here and do this, where he was working with a very elite UFC fighter that was competing down there at a UFC tournament. Now, he and his beautiful wife, Renata, they have 3 children and still find time to each not only have this amazing practice, but to build an Isagenix business. And you're going to see when they show his, I think they're going to show his before and after picture, you're going to see his incredible transformation because he was the winner of the 2013 Energy and Performance IsaBody. Give him a round of applause for that.
Woo!
So Dr. Paul is a real badass in his own rights. Give him a standing ovation and a warm welcome, Dr. Paul Biondich.
Woo!
Thank you. Can we give a big round of applause for Lori and Chris Harder? Weren't they amazing? I have a very special announcement before we start. This segment right now is going live streaming. I want everybody to stand up, turn around, and wave to the camera and say hello to the world. We are here in Minneapolis at the largest ICU in history. For our friends out in live streaming, my name is Dr. Paul Biondich. I'm a chiropractor. I do design high-performance nutrition programs. In my practice, I've worked with NHL players, Major League Soccer, fighters from the UFC, and numerous athletes from the Canadian National Team. So before we get into, Chris made a point in his earlier presentation about your belief system. Your belief has to be a 10 out of 10. Today, I'm going to try to bring it not to 10, but as in the old Spinal Tap movie, to 11. That's the goal for today. Before, I want to introduce my family. There we are. Thank you. It's my beautiful wife, Renata. She is also a chiropractor. She is actually the driving force behind our Isagenix business, as most women are. She is my inspiration, and in fact, we recently rank advanced while I was away in Brazil, and she was at home with the 3 kids, taking care of the house, and still doing the business. So I really want to give her a round of applause and thank her for all her work. And really, to all the husband and wives, to all the couples, to all the significant others and brothers and sisters that are building this business together, a round of applause to you guys for engaging in doing this business. To your left, if we can picture my kids again, there we go. That's my oldest son is Philip. He's 8 years old. He wants to be a pro soccer player. Robert is 6. He's my little blondie. He wants to be a pro soccer player and chase girls. And my Princess Victoria, don't let the cute smile fool you. She's definitely tougher than the boys. And my prediction is she'll be the first professional women's soccer player on the men's Canadian National Team. So here's a picture of the big guy in the middle is me. No, I'm just kidding. Is UFC heavyweight Stipe Miocic. He's currently actually ranked number 5 in the world. Jessica Ai, a UFC women's fighter, and then UFC lightweight champion Anthony Pettis. I don't work with Anthony, but the other athletes I do. And when you work with pro athletes, people think, hey, Paul, it must be very exciting working with pro and elite athletes. It can be, but it comes with great pressure. Because when you get a pro athlete into your office, it's actually very easy to make them worse. And it's very difficult to make them better. If you can improve their endurance, strength, power by 2-3%, you've done your job. You've broken a record, or they've broken a record. They've re-signed their multi-million-dollar contract. They've won the gold medal. So selecting the right product and nutrition is incredibly important. At least in my space it is. So in my space, I started studying nutritional companies not just in Canada, not just in the US, because nutrition is global. I started looking at companies in the UK, Germany, EU, Australia, New Zealand, because I wanted the best products in the world. And so do my athletes. They're depending on it. So when Dr. Michelle Staten, Dickey, and Alistair introduced isogenics to Renata and I, it was kind of, to be honest, it was kind of funny, because I study nutrition globally. And Michelle said, hey, Paul, I want you to take a look at this company. They're called Isogenics. I said, Iso who? I said, Isogenics. I said, never heard of them. Never actually crossed my path, which is really interesting. But, you know, to kind of make Michelle happy, we're good friends, I said, sure, you know what? I'll take a look at it. So I picked up the Isoline shake, and it usually takes me 2.6 seconds to scan through all the ingredients and find 13 things I wouldn't feed to my cat. So I scanned through the ingredients, and I was like, wow, clean product. Pretty impressive. But I'm not impressed yet, because a lot of companies do this. They make a flagship product, one product, and they may do a good job at it. But what's the rest of the line like? So I said, Michelle, give me another product. So I looked at the second product. I said, wow. Just give me a third product. Wow, and wow, and wow. So this is where I wanted to take a deeper look into this company that I never heard of, which was shocking. And when we look further, we see that it goes beyond the ingredients. It's also what's not in the product. They test for identity, strength and composition, organoleptic properties, microbial activities, pesticides, herbicides, essentially bad stuff. Stuff you don't want in your product. And for me, as a high-performance nutritionist, my athletes are depending on it, and even beyond that. Because listen, let's face it, today's conversation is not about high-performance nutrition. Because high-performance nutrition is for everyone. It's for you, it's for me, it's for my kids, it's for your kids. We all want it. So it's really one and the same. And when I took to really take a deeper look at the 5 pillars, it makes this system, this was actually, I kind of got a little bit, maybe, I don't know, jealous is the right word, but I was designing programs that were very complicated. Product from the UK, one from Germany, et cetera, pulling all these products in, creating these complicated, convoluted programs to my athletes. They worked. My athletes didn't like taking them because they weren't simple. Isogenics has created this incredibly simple system based on the 5 pillars that anybody can take at any time. So let's take a deeper look into what these 5 pillars are all about and why this is the best nutrition in the world. The Isoline shake. Now, nutrient-dense, low-calorie at 240, and complete meal replacement. I know, we've heard these words a million times, but really what does it mean? To lose weight, or to change body composition, we know you need to reduce your calories. But what is in the calories is what counts. Has anybody heard of the Twinkie diet? It's a real diet. Has anybody heard of it? So a professor from the US basically consumed 2/3 of his calories from Twinkies. And he reduced his total caloric intake. So after his set amount of time, guess what happened to him? He lost weight, exactly. But what do you think he looked like? A Twinkie, exactly. So it's not about reducing calories. It's what's inside the calories. the calories have to be nutrient dense. And that's the first basis that our isoline shakes are made up of, actually all our shakes. And our shakes are complete meal replacements. This is actually a legal term. A complete meal replacement has to meet certain micro and macronutrients and calories. We, to my knowledge, are the only company out there that creates a complete meal replacement. A lot of these other shakes are like, yeah, our shakes are amazing, but you have to add, by the way, milk. Or add other things to them. It doesn't make sense. This is really where I personally got extremely excited. When I started to take a really deeper look at what's inside of this shake and what is it really doing to us. The first thing we find is that our shakes are made from 100% grass-fed New Zealand whey protein. Now, why I found that incredibly odd is because this is the protein used exclusively in high-performance nutrition. Every single world-class sport nutritionist uses one protein and one protein only. Worldwide, it's not a debate, there's no argument, it's consensusly agreed to be one thing, and one thing only. 100% grass-fed New Zealand whey. So I found it very strange that this quality of protein is in a network marketing company, because I really had no experience in network marketing. We look at the second thing, is that why is grass-fed New Zealand whey considered the world's best? Is because something called branch-chain amino acids. And if I can just write something down here, these I call my live proteins. L-I-V. Leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And essentially they're what's called your branch-chain amino acids. Why this is important is because leucine, isoleucine, valine, these branch-chain amino acids directly stimulate the mTOR pathway. mTOR is responsible for all your muscle growth, recovery, and repair. So you're an athlete, you want to get bigger, faster, stronger, you want to recover quicker, then you want your protein to contain the highest amounts of naturally occurring branched-chain amino acids to stimulate mTOR to great superior recovery, repair, and growth. And that is the main reason why every single high-performance athlete uses grass-fed New Zealand whey. We also see that in our isoline shake, it's 24 grams of undernatured protein and 24 grams of low glycemic carbs. Why this is important? This is a ratio. This is a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to carbs. This is the ratio that is optimized for body composition changes. It's very important. We have 6 grams of fat from MCT oil and flaxseed. MCT oil comes from the healthiest fat in the world, coconut oil. But MCT oil is used in endurance athletes and pro athletes. Pro athletes use MCT oil because it's one of the few oils, or the only oil, doesn't need any digestive enzymes to be broken down. It goes directly into muscle to be used as fuel. So in high-performance nutrition, MCT oil is used as a performance enhancer, and it's in our shakes. So these are all components that, I was doing separately, adding in to create a high-performance effect. We see that also our proteins, what's not inside, like soy-based proteins. So there's a lot of controversy on soy-based proteins. If we look at some of the problems with soy-based proteins, the first thing is there's something called biological value. The biological value of soy is 70. The biological value of whey protein is 100. And in English, what this means is that if you consume 10 grams of soy-based proteins, your body's only using 7. If you use 10 grams of whey-based proteins, your body's using 10. So, in fact, you're getting gypped 30% protein use when you're using soy-based proteins. And by the way, this is not business volume. But it would make sense too. The second main reason that soy-based proteins are frowned upon is their proestrogen, something called isoflavones. And for somebody who wants to lower their exposure to estrogens, soy-based proteins in high doses in long consumption is not recommended. So, and that applies for both men and women. Because I've never really had at least a guy come into my office and say, you know, Paul, I'm feeling a little too masculine. My six-pack has turned into an eight-pack. I'm feeling really strong. Is there something I can take that will put me in touch with my feminine side? It's never happened. But if it did, I would say, yeah, you know what, there's something called soy-based proteins. And actually, I can recommend a few companies that you can take. We also know that our shakes are gluten-free and artificial or sweetener-free. I pick bones in a lot of other different places. This is something that I can't stand. The moment I see an artificial sweetener in a product, to me it discredits the company and everybody that's around that company. For two reasons. If we look at an artificial sweetener called NutraSweet or aspartame, it actually triggers insulin. When that hits the tongue, the brain thinks it's real sugar, so it releases insulin. There's an opposing hormone called glucagon, and glucagon breaks fat down. So if you're stimulating insulin, insulin is released, glucagon is suppressed, you don't have fat loss. Very difficult. So sorry to break it to you, if you're chewing gum with aspartame, you're triggering insulin, suppressing glucagon. If you're drinking Diet Cola with the same thing is happening. Now we've got another artificial sweetener called sucralose. Well, you know, the advantage is it's pH neutral in the mouth, pH neutral in the stomach. But there's some interesting research coming out that when it hits the intestines, it's actually acidic and destroying your good bacteria. And we need our good bacteria, our normal flora, in our gut. Because 80%, roughly, of our serotonin, our feel-good centers in our brain that makes us happy, is created in the intestines, not in the brain. So when you look at a food that's actually not hindering the intestinal normal flora, but actually promoting it, like our shakes, is it a wonder why isogenic people are so happy? And we have obviously digestive enzymes and prebiotics. Prebiotics are a bit of a buzzword, but there's a functionality in prebiotics. When these prebiotics mix with our good bacteria in our intestines, which we have, it produces something called a short-chain fatty acid, which promotes weight loss. So when I really looked at this formulation, and I really broke it down, how it's formulated, all the cascade effects, the intentional placements of each ingredient, I was actually completely blown away. And I said conclusively that this shake is the best designed protein shake in the world, period. And really, I'd like to give a big round of applause to our designer, John Anderson, Dr. Soup, and the entire RD team. Give them a round of applause. Next, we move on to our Isoline Pro. Yo! 36 grams of protein, 21 grams of carb. Now, why this is special? Because it's a higher protein to lower carb ratio. It's a 60-40 split. This is unbelievable. Maybe an athlete needs more protein. Maybe your weight loss is kind of staggering and you need to bump it up. This is the protein that you use. How many here have used the Isoline Pro? Put up your hand. Amazing. How many of you have not tried the Isoline Pro? Anyone out there that have not tried the Isoline Pro, my suggestion is to give it a try in your next order. I think you'll see a positive change in terms of body composition. When Isagenix came out with the dairy-free protein shake. A lot of fans in the audience. I was sitting back with my feet up and wondering, how are they going to design this one? Because I knew they were going to design the best one in the world. I wanted to see how they were going to do it. And we know that it comes from 22 grams of protein from hemp, pea, and chia. Great for vegetarians, vegans, and those with lactose intolerance. But what's so special about this thing, really? We're going to find out. The isoline non-dairy shake is the best protein in the world. And I can tell that to you with 100% confidence because of this. It's our live proteins. Our leucine, isoleucine, valine, our branched chain amino acids. Our protein shake, vegan, has the highest percentage of branched chain amino acids compared to any other product in the world. And if you're interested in growth, repair, recovery, health, this is what you want. So again, credit to John Anderson and the team for again designing the best vegan shake in the world. Now, we look at IsoPro. 18 grams of whey protein, 2 grams of carb, 1.5 grams of fat, and only 100 calories, 70 trace minerals. The 70 trace minerals is an amazing component. Prior to Isagenix, I was actually doing trace mineral deficiency or trace mineral supplementation in my athletes. Because trace minerals are the biochemical spark plugs of every reaction in the body. You take an athlete who's fatigued, overtrained, you add trace minerals into their diet, energy comes back. It's actually unbelievable. And when I saw that Isagenix actually puts trace minerals into all their products, I was again blown away. And we know that with IsoPro, it's practically a pure protein, just pure protein. There's a little bit of carbs. And what the advantage of this is it gives you customization. We have the isoline shake, which is a 1-to-1 ratio, equal carbs to protein. We have the Isoline Pro, which is 60% protein, 40% carbs. We have IsoPro, which is pure protein, and we have a vegan shake. This gives you unlimited customization option if you need it. If you don't need it, it's okay. But you know what? Somebody you might introduce it to might need it. You might introduce it to a gym owner or a trainer or a nutritionist. And no other network marketing company in the world offers you this variety. So it was amazing for me when I took a look at this program to say, this is unbelievable. This is what I need. And we're going to do something called the protein shakedown. We're going to do a quick little comparison of a few protein that's on the market today. Okay, so we've got competitor 1, 2, and 3. If we look at competitor 1, we see it's 18 grams of protein, 27 grams of carbs. The first thing we notice here is the ratio. This is a strange ratio. Why would you have higher carbs and lower protein? That's not, in body composition change, it's not the ideal ratio. What if this ratio doesn't work for you? This is the only formulation that this is a network marketing company, by the way. This is the only formulation that they have. They have 16 flavors of it, but one formula. So if it doesn't work for you, what do? You're stuck, you're done. It actually gets worse. If we look at the ingredients, what's inside the product? Grain-fed North American whey. Well, we can actually stop the conversation right here. Because grain-fed milk has an inferior amino acid profile, lower branched chain amino acids, which means less recovery, less growth, less repair. Nobody who understands this or who sees this would consciously consume this product. If we continue to take a look, these guys do something very tricky. They have whey protein, and then underneath they have pea protein. I'm a formulator. I'm a designer. Why would I mix whey and a plant-based protein together? Because we know whey is a complete protein. You have all the 20 amino acids to repair, recover, and grow. Plant-based proteins are incomplete. You've got to combine them in the right ratio. Why would I do this? Why would I combine the two? Does anybody have any ideas? cheaper. Exactly. Do you think that company has your best interest? If we look at the second company, they have a better ratio, competitor 2, 17 grams to 17 grams. It's a 1-to-1. Okay, nice. And again, North American whey, and again, pea protein. Here we go, we see it again. So really what I'm trying to tell everyone here is don't be afraid to look at the first 2 ingredients. You don't have to be a nutritionist, you don't have to be an expert, but the first 2 ingredients will tell you an incredible amount of information. Just pick it up, get in the habit of doing it. Just see, what's the first 2 ingredients? Be amazed what you're gonna see. If we go to competitor 3, this is not a network marketing company. However, they boast to have the most professional athletes on this protein. I highly doubt these guys are taking it. I'm sure they're taking the money for the endorsement, but that's probably about it. We see again, grain-fed North American whey. We can stop the comparison, really. But if we go down, there's something interesting here. Goat's milk protein. Oh, interesting. I had a world champion come into my office to review his program. And I was looking through the program, and we were editing it and trying to make it better. And I didn't see any proteins on his list. And I said to him, hey, do you take protein supplementation? Oh, yeah, I do. I said, he goes, but I don't need any recommendation stuff. I take the best stuff in the world. Okay. Would you mind sharing that with me? Because, if it's okay, I'd like to share that with my other athletes and people. He says, yeah, no problem. I take goat's milk protein. I was like, wow. I got a little nervous because I never even looked at goat's milk protein. No idea what the profile is. So we all know that branched chain amino acid content is what directly stimulates mTOR pathway for repair, recovery, and growth. It's the most important component. So let's take a look. So we put it on the computer, we printed it out, and we compared the Isagenix protein to the goat's milk protein on branched chain amino acid content. And the goat's milk had 50% less. Not saying it's not a good protein in terms of healthy, but in terms of recovery, repair, and growth, if you want to maximize it, not the best. He instantly switched. Pretty much that simple. We look at whey protein hydrolase. Anytime you see whey protein hydrolase, that's a junk protein. It's been heat treated. Most of the good proteins in there have been destroyed. I don't recommend any products with whey protein hydrolase in it. And then we see ACE-K and sucralose in there. So I think you know my opinion on that. That gets discredited out the door. So the point of this exercise is really to do 2 things. Look at the first 2 ingredients and look at the last 2. Because if there's any artificial sweeteners in there, typically they're in the back. Now, you don't have to be in the nutrition world to know this, to explain this. How do you go home and start, it's the live proteins, what was it, leucine iso, How do you explain it to your friends and family? What I love about Isagenix is they've created duplication. They've created an amazing video that you can watch and show your friends. So if you want to roll the Mythbuster protein video at this time, take a look.
Not all protein is created equal. Protein can be found in a variety of foods, but some sources of protein are better at supporting muscle growth and weight management. Proteins are made of different combinations of amino acids. There are 20 amino acids the body uses as building blocks to do everything from making muscle to creating enzymes. Protein sources that don't have all 9 essential amino acids, ones that the body can't make and that must come from your diet, are considered incomplete proteins. These include grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. Protein sources that do have all 9 essential amino acids, and in the right amounts, are considered complete proteins. These include milk, chicken, beef, fish, yogurt, and eggs. For muscle building, whey protein is superior to all other protein sources because it's high in branched chain amino acids, or BCAAs. BCAAs can be absorbed quickly and efficiently stimulate muscle growth, especially if taken after exercise. Studies show that whey protein, in the right amounts, about 20 to 40 grams per meal, can help you keep more muscle as you lose weight and with age. It can even help you boost your metabolism and stimulate fat loss more than other types of protein. Not all protein is created equal. You need the right kind, in the right amount, at the right time. Look no further than the high-quality, undenatured whey protein in optimal amounts found in Isagenix Isoline shakes and bars.
Wasn't that an awesome video? Easy tool to use, duplication, it's right there for you. I love it. The next product we're going to take a look at is Ionic Supreme. Who loves Ionic Supreme? So these are adaptogens, herbs that protect the body from stress, contains a blend wolfberry, Eleutherococcus centicosus, enhance mental and physical performance. Now, if I can tell you a little bit of story. 16 years ago, I was in Chicago, and I heard the word adaptogens. And I heard of all the amazing things that it does. So I started researching it, and it was unbelievable. And I really wanted to get to the core of it. And I heard of this gentleman by the name of Ben Tabachnik. He was the strength conditioning coach of the former Soviet Union. He defected from the Soviet Union, came to the US, and brought these secret Russian herbs with him that the Soviets and cosmonauts were using. And I wanted to know more, so what do? I get a hold of him on the phone. And I say, Ben, explain to me more about these adaptogens. He sent me 200 pages of Russian research, converted to English, luckily. And this, for me, was like Christmas, okay? I was in heaven. I thought I was, way ahead of the curve. I thought I fell on something, absolutely phenomenal and first in North America. And I'm telling Jim Coover this story. He's like, oh, Ben and I are friends. Because Ben and I worked together back then. I was like, are you kidding me? So here I am thinking I'm ahead of the curve, and I'm clearly behind the curve. Isagenix is ahead of the curve. So it's another reason why every component of Isagenix is world class. And if we see really what this thing does, what do these adaptogens do? They essentially control stress response. So when you get stressed, and your body can't figure out the difference between emotional stress, physical stress, or chemical stress. Stress is stress to the body. And typically it's usually a cortisol response that brings it up. When you take adaptogens, that cortisol response or stress response is kept even. And we know that high stress, high cortisol is a destructive hormone. It impedes with recovery, repair, sleep, lowers immune system. And in fact, it's very difficult to lose weight for fat burning if your cortisol is high. It's a little bit of a trick in weight loss because high cortisol will tend to tell the body to store fat. So we have a solution for that. It's called Ionic Supreme. So anybody who has troubled fat loss, if I can give you a little bit of a tip here, if you're using our system and you're basically plateauing and your stress levels are very high, I recommend usually 2 Ionic Supremes, glass of water, empty stomach if you're using the powder, and then 2 of our chai teas in the evening because they have the same adaptogenic herbs. And that will tend to control and push your cortisol levels down. And here's what a natural cortisol curve should look like. Okay, in the morning, it's supposed to come high and come down like this at nighttime. So when you're ready to sleep, you're nice and calm. Here's what most people's cortisol levels look like. You wake up in the morning, it's flat, tired, exhausted. As the day goes on, stress starts rising, kids start screaming, boss starts yelling at you, come home, and that's what it looks like for most people. Now you can't sleep because cortisol is high. How do we fix this curve? We have a very powerful solution. It's called Ionic Supreme. It brings this cortisol curve back into normal. It's truly unbelievable. And we're the only company producing these adaptogenic herbs in the formula that they are in. We've got a product called, obviously, our core product, Cleanse for Life. Revs up detoxification with botanicals such as aloe vera, turmeric, and ashwagandha. It's not a laxative or diuretic, as Eric said previously. It is a liver cleanse, not an intestinal cleanse. You're not running to the bathroom. And cleanse days are safe and effective for weight loss. They assist in weight loss, especially fat loss. They rev up detoxification, reduce oxidative stress, and reset your cravings. So there's different ways to do cleanse days. How many people have done a cleanse day? How many people have done a 48-hour cleanse day, a back-to-back day? Of the people who've done a 48-hour cleanse, how many find that the back 24 is easier than the front 24? Isn't that amazing? So for anyone who has not done a 48-hour cleanse, that's a sign that it actually gets easier. Because we know in the first 24-hour cleanse or intermittent fasting, your growth hormone goes up 1,000%, protects lean body mass, starts shredding fat. In a 48-hour cleanse, it goes up 2,000%, continues to protect lean body mass, continues to shred body fat. This is why, another reason, intermittent fasting and our cleanse days are becoming incredibly popular with fitness models, pro bodybuilders, anyone who wants to create a very robust body composition change. Intermittent fasting and cleansing is the most powerful system, and we have it. And it's trendy right now, but guess what? Isagenix has been doing this for years. Again, ahead of the curve. We have another amazing product called Ageless Essentials with Product B. The Essentials, Advanced Multivitamin Formula. Ageless Actives, Vitamin D, Resveratrol, and CoQ10. And the Isa Omega Supreme, EPA and DHEA with omega-3s. I want to sit on the Isa Omegas for a little bit. I think we've all heard of omega-3, 6, maybe even 9s. We've heard of them. Has anyone ever heard of omega-5? Did you guys know that omega-5 is in our Isa Omegas? I was telling my wife Renata, I said, you know what? You know sometimes you dream you're somebody else, right? I said, if I was like a James Bond secret agent, I would want my code name to be Omega-5. I think it's just so cool. But omega-5 is another essential fatty acid that has unbelievable health benefits. And again, it's another ingredient that is in our products that in the future you're going to be hearing more and more in the media about omega-5. Well, we've already had them. It's in there. You can just tell, oh yeah, we have omega-5. It's been there all the time. It's pretty cool and powerful stuff. We have our C Light, 3 forms of vitamin C, and of course we have our world-class Product B telomere support. So I love this. People said to me, oh, Paul, you know what? I don't need multivitamins. You know, I get all my nutrition from food. Anybody ever tell you this? All the time, right? Tell them that's a romantic concept. It simply is not true. We know our soils are void. It's been over-farmed. All those nutrients and minerals are just not there. You need to supplementation, and we have the best formulation for that. Anybody ever tell you, Paul, you know what? Or tell you guys, I don't want to take Isagenix because that's processed foods. Anybody ever tell you that? You should ask them if they ever cook their food. Ask them if they ever drank milk or eat peanut butter. Ask them if they've ever had canned anything. Because they all fall into the definition of processed foods. Processed foods got actually a bad name from processed cheese. But if you look at the definition of processed foods, what it falls into category, all those things fall into those categories. So you can have fun with that response. And of course, we've got our core product, Product B. Targets the source of aging. Who loves Product B? A complex blend of more than 30 botanicals and vitamins based on the Nobel Prize-winning research of Dr. Bill Andrews, and obviously coupled with John Anderson. And to get into a little bit of the science of telomeres, we know that as our telomeres shorten, our aging process accelerates. So our Product B slows this process down. And I had a gentleman come up to me and say, "Hey, Paul, I heard Isagenix has got a telomere support system." I said, "Yeah, they do." I said, "Well, our company has a better one." I said, "Actually, you don't." And why I know that, and why I can say that, is because we have Bill Andrews. We have the Nobel Prize winning research. The best in the world, coupled with John Anderson, made our product. It doesn't get better than that, I'm sorry, so you don't have a better product. You don't need to know the science. And this is what I love about Isagenix, is when Isagenix wants to get into a category, they don't go into second place. They don't want to become a third place product. They want to create the best product in the world. So they go and find the best people in the world and create it. It's that simple. Another reason why I love Isagenix and I recommend it to all my pro athletes. Ooh, who loves this guy? I think I might have had a few too many before I came on stage, but. So, caffeine and adaptogens, green tea, 85 milligrams, some green tea and yerba mate. What blew me away about this product is, again, it's the first product in the world to combine caffeine and adaptogens. Nowhere in the world have they done this. It's actually a brilliant combination. I'm upset that I didn't think of it. You got the stimulation properties of caffeine, central nervous system stimulant, but the calming, cooling properties of adaptogen. So it gives you that nice, cool, even energy flow. It's brilliant. Now, I'll give you a few tips. They're not spectacular tips, but they're good tips on how I use this product in high-performance nutrition. The obvious one is that anybody who has just a general workout, E-Shot is amazing pre-workout. Let's take a soccer player. The timing of a soccer player for me for E-Shot is at halftime. Because usually your body and your system, your nervous system, all your energy levels are pretty high when the game starts. 45 minutes go in, now you're a bit fatigued, adrenal glands are a little fatigued. This is the time you need the pick-me-upper. You give a soccer player an E-Shot at halftime, holy smokes, look out second half. These are game changers. But these are subtlety, little things how you can use the product to create massive changes. We look at an endurance athlete, a cyclist, a marathon runner, anybody who's in that endurance sport. I don't recommend E-Shots prior, before the race. I recommend it halfway and 2/3 into the race to give him that kick to the end. And you can tune it depending on the length of the race. You may use 3, you may use 2, it all depends, but the concept is the same. Is there any research behind your products? You always get the research guys, right? Because I'm one, right? Those research guys drive me nuts, but made fun of myself at that point. But Isagenix versus the heart-healthy diet. 56% more weight loss with Isagenix, 47% more fat loss with Isagenix, and twice as much visceral fat. We know that's the dangerous bad fat around our organs. Lose more weight with Isagenix. Weight loss on conventional diet compared to meal replacement. Outperforms it. So, we all have that guy, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to just eat sensibly and do my weight loss, and, I'll be okay. Awesome. Good luck with that. Follow back in 30 days with them. Follow back in 60 days with them. See how they're doing. Say, hey, by the way, how's your weight loss program going? Not that great. You want to try some Isagenix? Whey protein burns more fat. 62% more fat burned with whey protein compared to soy. That's no surprise to me, as I wouldn't give soy to my cat, but whey protein builds more muscle. 55% more muscle gain with whey protein. And here's a very interesting slide. Optimal protein intake to maximize muscle building. So what I love about the 30-day system, or about the Isagenix system, is it's equal protein throughout the day. When your protein level is stable throughout the day, your blood sugars are stable, your cravings are stable, and we have an improved muscle building capacity. So the system is built for your benefit, as opposed to what most people do. In the morning, they have a little bit bagel. At lunch, they may have some protein. And at dinner, they overeat. Now, when we put these 5 pillars together, and we put this whole system together, does it work? Have we seen changes? And what I love that Isagenix has done is they've created something called the IsaBody Challenge. And tonight, I want to introduce, we have a special person in the house. We have our grand IsaBody champion in the house. Kellyanne, where are you? Stand. Kellyanne Zander, give it up. We have also the man with the best 8-pack in the business. Where's Aaron? There he is. Jennifer Ramaski, IsaBody finalist. Are you here? There we are. Do we have any other IsaBody finalists that are in the house? Please stand up. IsaBody finalists. And anyone who's completed the IsaBody Challenge, please stand up. Let's see who you are. Give them a round of applause. Next year, I want to see the whole room stand up when I ask that question. Everybody who has not entered into the IsaBody Challenge, it's an absolute must. Having said that, I have to admit something embarrassing. I'm in the high-performance nutrition space, and for me, that's not what my lifestyle was doing. 3 kids, busy home, 2 practices, things got away from me. And my wife, being the best in who she is, grabbed me one day and said, "Paul, enough's enough. You have to walk the walk. You have to be a product of the product. It's time for you to get back in shape." And of course, I knew she was right again. And I said, okay, you know what? I looked at the 30-day weight loss cleanse system, and I knew how incredibly powerful it was, and is. And I said, I bet I can do this program, create my change, weight training 3 days a week, 45 minutes only, with 0 cardio. That was my mission. My wife said, can't be done. The trainer that I worked with, Duarte DeMello, said, he's never seen it. I said, I know I can do it, and I know with the power of nutrition, of Isagenix, it can easily be done. And here's what happened. Zero cardio, 24% to 9% body fat, release 32 pounds, only training 3 times a week, 45 minutes. Who has 45 minutes 3 days a week? 75 to 80% of body composition changes is nutrition. It's not working out. That's how powerful this is. If I may, I want to show you one of the formulations I give to my pro athletes. Would that be okay? So this custom formula I put together is for post-workout. It is to enhance recovery, repair, growth, all through Isagenix. And any athlete in this at any level, whether it's amateur, elite, or pro, have absolutely raved about this formulation. And it can change. You know, there's variations in it, but I'll give you the base formula. We start with Isoline Pro, 36 grams of protein, 21 grams of low glycemic carbs. I love to add isogreens in, because we know isogreens creates alkalinity. And alkalinity helps to buffer lactic acid or the acidity in the body. We know when you become alkaline that your body's ability to absorb more oxygen in the blood increases, so it actually increases endurance. So there's a very amazing cascade of effects when you add isogreens into the shake. I guess they want the slide. There we go. We've got Ionic Supreme, 1 to 3 scoops. We know that Ionic Supreme controls cortisol. Cortisol is a destructive hormone. Post-training, your cortisol levels rocket. So if you can control cortisol or minimize them, you can greatly and significantly enhance recovery, repair, and growth. We have isofruits. These are whole fruit extracts for the antioxidant effect. Somebody said to me, Paul, oxidation promotes muscle growth. You don't want to fire extinguish it out. Absolutely, we don't want to fire extinguish it out. We want to control it. We want to optimize it. Isofruits is an amazing tool to put this in. And we have Ageless Essentials with Product B. All the multivitamins, the iso-omegas. And of course I like to add a C light in addition, because vitamin C is an adrenal gland supporter. Working out hard stresses the adrenal glands. So the reason we do this is post-workout, your insulin level spikes very high. And insulin is a driver to drive all the nutrition back into muscle for repair, growth, and recovery. So it makes sense that you want to take advantage of the post-workout insulin window and drive all this nutrition back in. It's been absolutely unbelievable. Within 5 to 7 minutes of post-workout. Yeah, absolutely. And in any program that you do, you want variety. And Isagenix provides everybody with variety. We have the Isoline Shake, Isoline Pro, Isoline Soup, and Isoline Bar. And I want to touch a little bit on the Isoline Bar. The geek side of me has 500 protein bars in a database in my computer. I put them in. Worldwide. I looked at the world's supply of protein bars, and I looked at them from their macro, micronutrition, from natural ingredients, artificial flavoring, number of ingredients, and I can stand up here and tell you with 100% confidence that our Isoline bar is the best in the world in this category. And we have healthy snack options. Again, whey thins. First of its kind in the world. Grass-fed New Zealand whey protein, 10 grams of protein, 10 grams of carbs, healthy snacks. Unfortunately, my kids can't stop eating these things. Philip and Robert are just like, Dad, give me the whey thins. Fiber snacks, slim cakes. And in coming up to closing, there is one product line that I have to show you, okay? Because it's one of the product lines that my athletes get most excited about, and especially my fighters. And it's going to probably surprise you. So this is one of the product lines that they love the most. You ready? Hey, just because you're a pro athlete or fighter doesn't mean you don't want you want to look good too, right? You want healthy skin, glowing? They want it too. So Rejuvity is an amazing product, contains no harmful chemicals, and perfect for all skin types. Now, we covered a lot of information, maybe a lot of technical information. Where do you find this? Again, you don't have to try to replicate what I'm saying. Isagenixhealth.net is an amazing resource that really contains all this information that I've put up. We've got the videos up there, so use the website, use the tools. And if I can really stress something, I know I'm a product guy, but Renat and R's business took off when we actually led with the vision. And we stopped talking about the product. It's good to know the product when you have the question, when somebody wants to know the answer. You have the answer. But lead with the vision, and your business will explode. And that's why selecting the right vehicle to your health and wealth success is incredibly critical. And that's why Isagenix is the Ferrari of nutritional companies. Thank you. I want to bring up, we have an amazing